Hi, Fueled Up friends. Welcome back or welcome. My name is Ashley, aka Food for Fuel Dietitian, and this is Darwin. On my channel, I give you tips and tricks to eat more plants in order to fuel your mind, body, and soul. So a lot of you out there are probably trying to transition into a plant-based diet. I know many people at work, many people in my life that are trying to do that, but it sometimes gets challenging, especially in the beginning phases, because you start to doubt yourself. You feel like I can't do this. And the reason I want to interview my lovely life partner Darwin today is to ease your mind of a lot of those doubting thoughts. So I have a list of questions here I'm going to ask Darwin, and he's going to answer them for you.
All right, here we go.
So, question 1. Why did you choose to transition to a plant-based diet?
So why did I decide? Truthfully, it's at the end of the day, I met someone that ultimately showed me the way of the plant-based living, and it was when I met you, Ashley. On our first date, I decided to just go and try a plant-based meal. It was tofu, which I absolutely love now. And it was great. I tried it for a couple weeks, and ultimately I just really saw really good health benefits, and I decided to make the full transition. So why did I decide? I got you to thank for that.
So you said, you decided when you met me that you were open to it, but so how long did it take for you to decide I'm going to commit to this?
So it was around the holiday seasons where, all right, I just tried it a couple of times, obviously with our first date, and every time we would always go out on more dates. And then just on my own, went through the holidays, but it was eventually when I decided to fully commit was in December. And it just brought me a lot of great health benefits as far as one distinct difference that I saw was that I had a lot of heartburn, doing a lot of different fad diets, in the past. And within a couple weeks, I didn't even realize my heartburn was completely gone.
So that was an initial benefit. That's good.
100%.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So just to kind of give you guys an idea, we did meet in October. So it took maybe a month and a half
or so
to like kind of fully transition. So just so you know, everyone has a different timeline.
Got through the Thanksgiving, which, turkey and all that. But December wasn't too heavy when it comes to all those different foods and such. So I decided, why not? Try it out. And been plant-based ever since.
Awesome. So another question I have is, prior to a plant-based diet, how was your relationship with food?
It wasn't great. It was something that I always struggled with. I would just do a lot of emotional eating. I really struggled with body weight management. So my relationship with food was kind of just, I would eat whenever I wanted to feel comfort or just relief. In the past, I've done a lot of jobs that involved a lot of traveling, so just sitting in the car, munching on some like potato chips or something like that. Doritos was my jam. But it was one of those type of things,
So how has your relationship with food changed now that you're eating plant-based?
I can eat as much as I want, and I don't even feel bloated.
My favorite benefit of eating plant-based is eating more.
Like, seriously, I never thought, like, hey, I can eat some overnight oats, I can eat a whole head of cabbage, and, like, it's just, at the end of the day...
You'll get bloaty.
But at the end of the day, it's just, I don't have that, just that, like, that the over-pressing feeling of just like, oh man, like, and at the end of the day, it's just that guilt too, that came along with like eating an entire 12 wings, buffalo wings, rather than eating just a couple
to fuel your body, right?
True that. So
absolutely. Yeah, that's one of my favorite benefits too, is you get to eat till you're full, which is how we're supposed to eat, right? Till we're full, which is great. Another question I have is, actually, you answered this one. What were the initial benefits? So the heartburn, that was an initial. Was there any other initial right away from the start?
That was the main one for sure. And I just noticed that like I had less of a mental fog. Every
I
especially.
wonder why. So as a dietitian, I know why that is, especially for any of those who have done the keto diet, starving your body and brain of carbohydrates. So that's why you get that mental fog. So that's why the plant-based diet doesn't do that, because it's full of carbs, all the good kind.
Overall, like another initial benefit was that I was actually dropping weight, and I didn't even mean to, and it was just one of the things.
Healthy side effect, I call it.
Right. Yeah, and it was definitely one of those initial ones for
Awesome.
for sure.
Yeah. What about what's been the greatest benefit of transitioning to a plant-based diet?
Honestly, it was after viewing the Game Changers documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
Where they talked about how the recovery time of muscle fatigue and whatnot. And again, I was always one to be very active. As you know, I am a runner, and it like my pace just like increased so much because I was able to just recover. I'm sorry, decrease, yes. But really, I was able to, as soon as I do like an intense workout, whether it be whether it be free weights or running, I wasn't as sore the next day, and which just allowed me to just keep improving on my body.
We still get sore, but it's just not as bad.
Not as bad. really not as bad. And that's something that definitely was a benefit for sure.
And you kind of touched upon this already, but what fad diets have you done in the past?
So there was this one I initially tried called the bacon diet. Yeah, definitely a lot of heartburn. Which then kind of led me to discover the keto diet. And that was when I would say at my heaviest, and it was just did lose some weight for sure. I dramatically lost weight, but at the end of the day, it wasn't sustainable because honestly, everything has carbs in it. So it was one of those things where like I really had to limit and be really strict, and it wasn't all that sustainable because I just love so much other things that involved those other nutrients and all those other vitamins that you need and such. But the keto diet was one for sure that I tried. Then I just tried general low carb, high carb at one point too, which I packed on so much as far as weight goes. But yeah, those are the main the main one for sure was keto.
Yeah, keto. So pretty much opposite of a plant-based diet. So very, very different for sure. And I agree. It's not a sustainable diet. So it's hard to upkeep. And I see a lot of people who have tried it who say, it works so great because you lose all this weight, which is great, but then you're damaging your body and you're also going to gain that back and probably more than what you ended up losing in the first place. So it's just not sustainable for weight loss or for health.
And the biggest discouragement when I was doing that too was that like literally I lost around 10 pounds within like a stretch of a week. Within a matter of a couple of days when I took a break from the diet, gained it right back.
Right, and do you know why that is?
Why?
Because carbs have water. So carbs are comprised of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So they have water in them versus protein does not have as much water. So you are gaining water weight when you add even think of fruits and vegetables, right? Like when you bite into an apple, it's juicy. That's why you gain weight more quickly after, stopping the keto. Another question I have is what was the hardest part of the transition, would you say? And I think I know this, but
yeah, the hardest part was definitely giving up a lot of the meats and the cheese and the dairy and the milks and whatnot. And that definitely was something that, again, it's always been a part of my life, especially with my culture, being very meat heavy eaters. And there was also, I guess, that social aspect too as well, when it came to just, oh, you're not going to eat this, and getting a lot of that like backlash, I guess. From coworkers, from family members, friends. It was very discouraging, but at the end of the day, my body just kept feeling better and better every day, and I didn't really I didn't really care what other people had to say at that point, because overall, it's my body, my choice, you know.
Right. So like the benefits outweigh the downfalls.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, I found that too. Yeah.
And ultimately, they all adjusted to it, because at the end of the day, I'm the one eating the plant-based meals and such, not them. And they love me now for it just as much as I, when I did eat meat. So,
right. It kind of almost becomes part of your personality. Like it really does. I will say too, and at some point you can interview me these questions, but I will say I felt like I was coming out of the closet, like when I told my family that I was even just going vegetarian. It's a weird transition, but I promise you it's worth it. A few more questions left. Do you wish you would have transitioned sooner?
And this brings up memories from when I was in high school. I was a wrestler, and I would just do everything under the sun to make weight. And I think, man, if only I knew about this way of eating, this way of living, I would have been that much more stronger, that much more agile, recover faster. 100% I wish I would have known this knowledge, because at the end of the day, it's something that I can see myself doing for the rest of my life.
Absolutely sustainable.
Right.
When beginning, what were your go-to meals?
Beginning, I would do a lot of tofu. I'm like tofu master
Still
now.
does.
Yep, still definitely for sure. But it would, honestly, I would just think, okay, well, plants. I would just do a lot of salads at the beginning, and just try to incorporate different
Classic.
proteins and such. So definitely tofu, beans. You taught me a lot of recipes when it came to chickpeas, and I thought, cauliflower. In high school, I hated cauliflower, and I actually love it now. Especially
he used his Instant Pot a lot in the beginning.
Instant Pot, it's definitely game changer too.
Yeah.
So advertise for that. Yeah. I would do a lot of chilies too. Sweet potato chilies. Yeah. A lot of soups as well. So those were my go-to right when I first transitioned.
Right. You use that Instant Pot like for months in the beginning. Absolutely. And that can really help too.
For sure.
So Instant Pot, sponsor me.
Yeah.
What are your go-to meals now?
Go-to meals now, overnight oats is 100% my go-to when it comes to the breakfast
or dessert.
That's right. I actually got one for dessert.
Yeah.
In addition to still sticking with tofu, I do that with a lot of different dishes. I do a lot of rice and beans, which I do pretty much. We do have this like Dominican style, Hispanic style, beans and rice, and just removing all the animal products from it. You can't even tell the difference. It tastes even better, actually.
So is there anything else you want to share? Any words of wisdom you have for those out there who are plant curious or ready to begin their journey?
I was always one to just try new things, and this definitely has been something that I would never thought I would ever do. So just take the leap of faith. Give it a shot for a couple weeks. See what the benefits are for you. Listen to your body. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're doing it because it's benefiting you. So take a leap of faith. Try it out. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
But it's for everyone.
But it's for everyone.
You just gotta get there mentally. I think, wouldn't you say the hardest part is the mental change and like the family probably?
For sure. It's just the cultural shift of being plant-based versus, just the usual, so to speak.
Regular, as he used to call it.
Once upon a time, right? I was like, a regular diet. But, at the end of the day, it's all, everything's different and everyone's body is different. It's all about adapting and evolving. My name is Darwin.
Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sure Darwin will be back again in some other videos.
Better believe it.
Just so you know, we do have a project we're working on, hopefully in January, that will be launched. And so subscribe to stay tuned for that. And I just want to remind everyone to fuel yourself. Don't fool yourself. Don't forget to check out the description that has my Instagram, my Facebook, my book of poetry, and my website. And stay tuned for the next video. Bye, guys.